In this video, we're going to learn how to attach our two pinch pots together. So you obviously need to get your pinch pots, and then you can get a fork, or you can use your needlepoint tool. So really you can use either one. I'm going to show you how to use both. So you're going to score, which just means to scratch, and you're going to scratch in all different directions. So like making X's everywhere, and go pretty deep into the clay. Don't be too dainty with it. What's nice about a fork is it just scores things faster. That's what's nice about it. So either one. Now if you use this fork, please don't use food after using the fork unless you clean it really well with like Dawn soap. We don't want to use a fork that we eat with. My cat is getting in the way. I apologize. Move her to the side and then we'll continue to score here. So you also need your slip for this. So go ahead and get your container of slip wherever that is. You're going to need your wood modeling tool, but we're going to finish scoring before we really get into that. So all the way around the edge, do a really good score. It's going to look pretty scratched up surface if you do it correctly, like this. Now, of course, you're just going to do the exact same thing on the other pinch pot, because this is where they're going to connect together. So the clay that touches and goes together, both surfaces need to be scored. So once it looks nice and scored, you're going to get some slip. Now you can use your wood modeling tool to do this, but honestly, I don't mind getting messy. You can dab, see, so you have less control if you use a modeling tool. So I prefer just using my fingers, but you can dab with your wood modeling tool like this. But of course, I'm just gonna use my fingers, and notice I said dab. Make sure you dab it and put a lot of slip so then it gets in all of those scratches you just made. Do not smooth it, because then you're just gonna smooth all the scratches you just created, and that's pointless. So make sure you put a lot on there. And again, do it on the other side. Slip is the glue of clay. So just like when you glue surfaces together, sometimes it's better to put glue on both surfaces than just one. It's the same concept here. So we put enough slip on both sides. I'm gonna clean off my hands just because I got a lot of slip on them. And this is the next important part. So we're gonna put them together. When you do that, you're gonna press them together and you're gonna do a little jiggle. This allows like everything to fuse together and really stick together. So I like to call it the jiggle, which sounds ridiculous, but it works. And you're gonna press together, not really hard, right? We don't wanna collapse it, but just enough where it fuses together and sticks really well. Now you're gonna take your wood modeling tool and do the last thing that's going to really make these come together. And notice if I just do that, the line's still there. So we're gonna do something with the clay we have left out. Now I'm gonna grab that, and you're just going to cut a little sliver off of it. With that, you're now gonna turn it into a coil. So you can do this with your hands, or you can pinch it, or you can even roll it on the tabletop. But you want it pretty skinny. My finger's really skinny, so you can kind of see, you want it even skinnier than my finger. So pretty small, but you don't want it teeny tiny either. So just do a good amount, and that's perfect. So you're gonna rip off just a tiny bit, you're gonna flatten it, and you're gonna smooth it on. Notice I'm supporting the sphere on the back with a hand while I'm smoothing it with my other hand. Now it looks like crap right now, okay? So it just looks like a coil's been smashed on it. So this is where the modeling tool comes to help. You use the smooth side of the modeling tool, and you're gonna smooth that and really press it into the cracks so that now you don't even see the crack. And then you can smooth it out with your fingers, and look at that. It looks like there's not even a seal. You are gonna do this all the way around your ball of clay here, or your sphere of clay. Take a little bit off of your coil, kind of wiggle it on so it sticks, smooth it on. Be careful not to add too much pressure or your spheres and your pinch pots are going to come apart from each other. So just be really careful. And then smooth it on and clean it up. Now, if just using your finger to smooth it after you've added the coil and smoothed it with the modeling tool doesn't work really well, you can also use your sponge, but we're going to use my finger because that's what I'm more comfortable with. Look at that, we got already halfway across, and look what I find. I find a little crack there right next to my pointer finger. Now, I'm going to clean off my fingers because my hands were a little wet. I'm going to finish this coil since I was already starting it and smooth it in there. And now I'm going to show you guys how to help with cracking if you haven't figured that out already. So you're going to take your needlepoint tool or your fork and you're going to score it. So what this does is it like fuses the clay particles together again. You're going to add some slip. And sometimes this isn't going to work and you're going to have to add a little bit of clay on top. But since I'm still wet plastic clay, that's perfect. It actually smooths it over and the slip filled in all the cracks. But of course I want to be extra careful, and so I added just a little bit of clay and that sealed up the crack really well. That was occurring there. No harm, no foul. Now we're just moving on and finishing up, adding the coil, pressing it in so it sticks. Now using that modeling tool to really smooth it over. Notice I go both directions with the modeling tool. I go up and then I go down so that it seals on both sides of the crack. Now I'm just going to do that last finishing touch so that ridge is just completely gone. And I want you guys to see how you really wouldn't even be able to find where the crack was now. And there we go.